They say love is patient, love is kind. But in Hollywood, sometimes love barely lasts a weekend. From 55-hour whirlwinds to decades of devotion, we're counting down the most shocking celebrity marriages, from the shortest to the longest. You won't believe who couldn't even make it past the honeymoon, and who's still going strong after 40 years. Let's start with the fastest marriages to fall apart. Blink, and you might have missed them. Britney Spears and Jason Alexander. 55 hours. It was 2004. Britney Spears was at the peak of her fame. Chart-topping, paparazzi-stalked, and barely breathing between tour dates and tabloid headlines. So when she married her childhood friend Jason Alexander during a spontaneous Vegas trip, fans didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or gasp. The wedding took place at 5:30 a.m. inside the little white wedding chapel. No big dress, no media alert, just two childhood friends, swept up in chaos, nostalgia, and maybe a bit too much adrenaline, saying "I do" with no plan for what came next. 55 hours later, it was over. The official statement said they lacked understanding of each other's actions. But behind the legal phrasing, it was clear. This wasn't love. It was a cry for freedom, from control, from handlers, from the suffocating machine of pop stardom. Fans later described it as a rebellion in wedding form. Even Jason Alexander admitted it felt like Britney just wanted to feel normal, to make a choice that wasn't pre-approved by her team. But in the end, it only added to the circus. A marriage shorter than a long weekend, and the first major public crack in Britney's carefully constructed image. Nicolas Cage and Erica Koika, 4 days. In 2019, Nicolas Cage walked into a Las Vegas courthouse with his girlfriend, makeup artist Erica Koika, and walked out married. No one saw it coming. Not his fans. Not even some of his own friends. Within 4 days, he filed for an annulment. Court documents later revealed Cage claimed he was too intoxicated to understand what he was doing and acted purely on impulse. Video footage from the Marriage License Bureau showed a visibly agitated Cage shouting about Koik's past, saying, "She's going to take all my money." The whole scene felt less like a wedding and more like a breakdown, messy, raw, and public. Koik didn't go quietly. She opposed the annulment, argued the marriage was real, and requested spousal support. After just 4 days together as husband and wife, fans were left wondering whether this was a man spiraling or a woman trying to cash in. Either way, the marriage ended before it even started. A 96-hour union that became tabloid fuel and another strange chapter in Cage's unpredictable love life. Pamela Anderson and John Peters, 12 days. In early 2020, Pamela Anderson shocked the world by marrying Hollywood producer John Peters, a man she had dated briefly decades earlier. It was a whirlwind romance that rekindled out of nowhere. They tied the knot in a private Malibu ceremony, with no media, no fanfare, just two people who believed they were meant to be, even after all those years apart. But less than 2 weeks later, it was over. Not only did they split, but they never even filed the official paperwork to legalize the marriage. John Peters claimed he had dropped everything for her, even paying off some of her debts, only to feel used. Pamela's side stayed quiet, just a short message saying they needed time apart to reevaluate what we want from life and from each other. Fans were stunned. Had it all been nostalgia? A midlife craving for comfort in familiar arms? Whatever it was, it burned hot and fizzled fast. 12 days, no legal record, just headlines, speculation, and a reminder that sometimes the past should stay in the past. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries, 72 days. It was billed as the wedding of the decade, a $10 million celebration, a Vera Wang dress, hundreds of guests, and millions of viewers watching every detail unfold on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian and NBA player Kris Humphries had only been dating for a few months before the engagement. But the media frenzy turned their romance into a marketing machine. From televised dress fittings to luxury invites and tabloid spreads, it felt less like a marriage and more like a season finale. But once the cameras stopped rolling, the cracks appeared. Just 72 days after saying, "I do," Kim filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Fans were stunned. Critics were skeptical. Some accused her of faking the whole thing for ratings. Chris himself later said he felt blindsided, like a pawn in a publicity stunt. He even tried to have the marriage annulled on grounds of fraud. But Kim insisted it was real, that she had rushed into something she wasn't emotionally ready for and didn't want to disappoint anyone by backing out. Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman, 9 days. In 1998, NBA wildcard Dennis Rodman and Baywatch star Carmen Electra shocked fans by eloping in Las Vegas. Just 9 days later, Rodman filed for an annulment, claiming he was of unsound mind at the time of the wedding. Their whirlwind romance was a storm of parties, paparazzi, and impulsive decisions. Which of these whirlwind weddings shocked you the most? Was it all for love, or just for the limelight? Comment below. I'm reading every single one. Now let's flip the script and talk about the rare Hollywood love stories that stood the test of time. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, married since 1988. They met on the set of a sitcom in the early 80s, but their real connection sparked a few years later. By 1988, they tied the knot. And against all odds in Hollywood, they've stayed rock solid. Through cancer battles, career ups and downs, raising kids out of the spotlight, and even testing positive for COVID together during the early days of the pandemic, their loyalty never wavered. Tom once said in an interview, "I married my best friend." And you can feel it. Every red carpet, every speech, every quiet moment. Denzel and Pauletta Washington, married since 1983. Before they were Hollywood royalty, they were just two artists trying to make it work. Pauletta turned down Denzel's proposal not once, not twice, but 3 times before finally saying yes, not because she didn't love him, but because she wanted to be sure it was for life. And it was. Over 40 years later, they've built a legacy together, raising 4 children, weathering fame, and avoiding the scandals that so often follow success. Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick, married since 1988. Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick have become one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. Married for over 35 years, they've acted alongside each other in films, raised 2 children, and supported each other through the highs and lows of showbiz, all while keeping their relationship refreshingly grounded. Kyra once said their secret is simple. "He always makes me laugh." With a blend of humor, humility, and deep respect, they've managed to stay madly in love without ever becoming tabloid fodder, a rare feat in Tinseltown. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, together since 1983, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell have been together for over 4 decades, yet they've never walked down the aisle. And that's exactly how they like it. Their decision to stay unmarried is intentional, built on the idea that love should be a daily choice, not a legal obligation. Goldie once shared, "The reason our relationship works is because we don't feel pressured." Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick, married since 1997. While many Hollywood couples thrive on headlines, Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick have built their relationship on the opposite: quiet consistency. They married in a low-key New York City ceremony in 1997, with Parker wearing a black wedding dress to avoid media attention. Since then, they've stayed largely out of the tabloids, raising 3 children and keeping their personal life tightly guarded. Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham. Together. Since 1986, Oprah and Stedman have defied traditional expectations, staying together for nearly 4 decades without ever tying the knot. Their relationship has thrived outside the confines of marriage, with Oprah once admitting, "If we had gotten married, we wouldn't be together now." Instead of chasing convention, they've built a quiet, steady partnership rooted in mutual respect, space, and understanding, proving that love doesn't always need a wedding ring to last. So whether it's a marriage that fizzled in days or a union that's lasted generations, one thing's clear. In Hollywood, time isn't the only test of love, but it's certainly the most telling. Which couple surprised you the most? Which one do you think will last another decade? Comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real stories from behind the red carpet.